Roll.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cafe of Knowledge. Today, we're going to get right into it. It's a serious subject today. This is a very serious topic, and it came from one of our subscribers, and they requested, this is the topic, working in a hostile environment. And the question was, this is the exact question, is how do you handle working in a hostile environment? Okay, and we're going to give a shout out to Helena Hackworth.
Yeah, Helena, baby.
What's up, girl? What's going on? Thank you for that request. Very much needed request. There's a lot of people going through that. So do you want to kick it off or want me to kick it off?
Hold on, Oprah. Yeah, I might want to get what I said. I need to say.
But I go ahead on and I start off. First of all,
I said I want to start.
Oh, you did? I thought you said no.
No, I said hold on, Oprah, because I said let me say what I need to say. Because I know you're gonna break it down.
Go ahead.
I know you've been through all this. You lived well over 25 years, so you got very much more knowledge and experience, and I love that about your mama. So you definitely, I know, you got anything usually anybody handle authorities, you got the key to it. Right. That's why this is a great forte for you.
And that's what the Cafe of Knowledge is all about. We always told people that. We always said that this channel is for community relations and relationships, stuff that pertains to us everyday life. Everyday people. We ain't talking about these stars and all that. We talking about stuff that'll help us as a people everywhere, all over the United States and the world. Yeah,
she gonna give you definitely the universal knowledge. I'm gonna give you the raw and now, what I know in my personal experience, like up to now in the present. So, a hostile environment. I've been in one. Honestly, all jobs I've ever had was pretty cool. I'm kind of a strong. I've been told I got like a strong personality.
Right.
So.
Right. Which is a good thing.
Well, thank you, Mama.
Which is
to a lot of people, they don't like it. You know what I'm saying?
It is a good thing.
You know, but so I guess I kind of dominate usually wherever I go and stuff, and I lead or whatever. You know, even as a regular worker. But and now I'm not like in there. You ain't gonna tell me what to do. Nah, it's not like that. It's more like, I don't know. It's just I come in. You tell me what I need to know and understand. Okay, I got you. I'm going to do the best I can to my ability. I want to be one of the best there doing whatever it is I'm doing. You know what I mean? And it's not like I don't want nobody to outshine me, but I can hang too. I got this. Like I don't like the feeling of being like, I got this, you don't really know what you're doing. No, I'm going to get it. So that therefore, I know I can get to the point to where I can kind of, sit back and relax. I'm not going to be joning or messing with the lesser guy, though. But I'm one of the people that going to be like, he know what he doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, but there was one job I had. It was pretty hostile, I would say. We ain't finna start that.
No, we sure ain't finna start that. What an embarrassing. And we always freestyle, y'all. So we just want everybody to know that we are not the type that edit out some good stuff and then edit out the bad stuff and all that stuff. We keep it real with y'all. And so we do everything that we talk. It's not rehearsed. It's not none of that. We do freestyle. So y'all can get our real personality and our real take. Yeah, so, okay.
Everything's wrong real. Sorry about that. All right, so long story short, I had one that was pretty, I would say, hostile. And it just got to the point to where I had to do what I needed to do to stay there. I went and also was looking for other jobs, of course. But I just stayed to myself after a while. You know what I'm saying? I stayed to myself. I didn't need to be in the drama. I didn't want to be sitting there associating with nobody, because this is a situation where I was in, running your mouth caused you couldn't trust nobody. And they all in your face, you think they cool. And it ain't even like you say anything or I say anything that was bad about anybody else. It's just, it could be something personal with you and you like, man, last night, man. Next thing you know, the next day, somebody making little jokes about what you telling everybody for, like, you know what I'm saying? And then that was just something small with me. I killed a lot of stuff before it got too wicked.
Right.
But everybody else up in there, oh man, it was hell on earth in that place. So
And
I just stayed out of the way until I found another job, and I just dipped. You know what I'm saying? So
that's exactly how you do it.
Yeah, that's how I handled that.
That's exactly how you handle it.
Yeah, anybody else, I would just tell them something like that. Now, sometimes it can go deeper than that. I'm pretty sure you might got some situations that might go or know something deep. Because me personally, mine was just like that. So anything else deeper than that, I can't say. I don't think I can say it's the same thing. Like I would just either stay out of the way, just don't even bother with people. Stay out of the way. You can still be cordial with people because it's a workplace, but stay out of the way, and then until you find another location or something like that.
Right, so. And you know, it's some people that do make your job hard.
Yeah.
You know, they really do. It's a lot of, and it's really not employees. Like you have some employees that they love to pick with certain co-workers, and they have their little clique. It's almost just like how you in school. They have their little clique in certain areas of the business. It depends on where you working. But the majority of people problems when they're working in a hostile environment or a sexual harassment case at work, it normally has something to do with that person's superior. That person's manager or that person's supervisor or something like that. Because usually when it's an employee, the employee can go to the manager and be like, hey, look, this person is really affecting my job. They're messing with me. Or even if they're doing sexual harassment, you could tell the manager, hey, this person is sexual harassing me or whatever. And then when the manager goes to that person who is doing the harassing or the hostile environment, when they go to that person, they normally will write that person up or talk to that person, give them a warning or something like that. Now, if that person continues to mess with them, that person seems to get terminated quick. But when it's a manager or a supervisor, it's not handled as easily.
Basically a superior.
It's not handled as easy. And if your superior is the one who is, say, picking on you, and let's get this out the way so you guys know. Working in a hostile environment or any type of sexual harassment environment, it contains when someone is bothering you about your race, your gender, your disability, your sexual orientation. It goes very deep. So you have to know that when people are messing with those type of areas, you can always look up under Title VII, Civil Rights Act of 1964. And that will tell you everything that a job cannot do.
What?
Anything that a job cannot do, you will look up under the Title VII, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and that will tell you everything you need to know about if your case is really harassment, hostile environment. Okay? So I'm not going to go into that, but do look that up. And that will tell you exactly if you are working in that type of environment. Now, if usually when you are working in that environment and it is a superior or it is a supervisor or it is, now I'm going to give y'all two examples. One is when you're working in the civilian world, and then I'm going to give you an example if you're working in the military world. Okay? Because I have had a lot of requests about this from military people.
Really?
And yes, I have. Oh. And so it's like it's a topic that people really want to touch on and want to know. So if you're in the civilian world and you're not in the military, you have to go by your chain of command. Chain of command means that you have to go to your supervisor, your manager. Once you go to those and that still is not working, you are supposed to go to your HR department.
I know I done did this a couple of times.
Yeah, you're supposed to go to your HR department. If the HR department can't seem that they are handling it either, that's when you go to corporate. Now, you have to follow these chains of command in order to get something done about it. Okay? Now, the reason why you take these steps,
Jay-Z level
but I'm telling you, you got to go to the corporate after none of that works, right? Once you talk to the corporate and nothing still changes, that's when you can, but you have to follow these steps first.
So you have to go to the manager, supervisor first.
Right.
They acting stank.
Yeah, they're not handling your situation.
Right. Go to HQ.
Exactly.
And then HR.
Right.
And then, they acting like they in cahoots.
Yeah, right. That's normally how it works,
then
right?
Then you go to corporate.
And then you go to corporate. Now, once you go to corporate, and when you go to corporate, sometimes it has been because let me tell y'all the reason why I know a lot about this, because I have ran 10 or 12 stores just about at one time.
Yes.
Okay, so I had almost about 800 employees under my belt. Okay, or more. So this is how it goes. And once you do that, sometimes corporate goes into cahoots. If you are complaining on a manager, say the top manager, and that top manager is good at what they do, and they run their store very well, and they do, like they are a very big asset to this company. Sometimes it's hard to get in there act right from corporate as well. Well, that's when, if you have to document everything that is happening to you. You have to document when you go to the manager, and you keep it at home. You have to document when you went to HR. You have to document when you went to corporate. And you have to document all these things down so that you will have a record of how many times you went and told it. Because when corporate doesn't do what they are supposed to do, you can then go to the EEOC. That's called Equal Opportunity Employment, right? And the EEOC that's what the first thing they're going to ask you is, did you go to BAM? Did you go to this? Did you go to HR? Did you go to... And once you say yeah, and you explain to them your case, EEOC most likely will pick it up. And that's when you don't have to worry about anything. And the thing about EEOC is, as long as they handling that for you, your job cannot touch you or fire you. They cannot touch you.
That's a bad
and they cannot touch you.
I've been corporate like, who hired this mother?
And I'm just, but I'm saying.
They know how to do all this.
Yeah, and they cannot touch you. And it's an EEOC in everybody's city and town. And most of the time, your EEOC department is in your downtown area. Okay? And so it's a EEOC. That's in many places. That's in your big urban cities and big communities. It's in your, most likely it's in your downtown area where the courthouse and the federal courthouse and the state courthouse, all that stuff is at. Okay? So you can do that. And then you don't have to worry about being fired. You don't have to worry about being retaliated against. Usually you get retaliated against and you get treated badly when you don't do anything. And it's a lot of people that just go on and quit their job because they like, you know what, I went to the supervisor, I went to HR, I went to corporate, I went to everybody, and they still ain't helping me. They still dropping my hours. They retaliate now because I'm telling. Because, see, that's what most managers or whoever is over you do. Once you have told what that person done to you, whether it's sexual harassment or they is race-related, discrimination-related, or whatever, once you tell on that person, corporate will let them know that, hey, look here, you might have to settle that. But that person's still going to have an attitude. And that person might wind up dropping your hours. You'd be like, I went from 40 hours to 20 hours. That's retaliation. You know what I'm saying? I went to unstocking things to now my job to clean the toilet. See, that's retaliation. When they drop you and put you in areas that they know that you don't want to be in. They trying to make you get out of the door.
They want you to quit.
You see what I'm saying? And most people do. Because most people don't know these changes that they can go through. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you have to do. Because there's a lot of, and it's sad to say, a job is supposed to be a place where you feel comfortable going in, making your money, clock in, clock out. But it is a lot of places that have harassment. They have discrimination. You know, they have sexual harassment. They have all kind of things. And you have to know that you don't have to deal with any of it. Yeah. You know, you really don't. Now, for is the military, that is very hard thing to do because it's not like the civilian world. The military is usually, first of all, you are enlisted and you vowed to stay in for a certain amount of time. So it's not like the civilian world. People can get a job and they can quit tomorrow. Mm-hmm. In the military world, when they go in, they have at least 4 years that they have to complete before they be let out. So some of them will go through a lot of this, and they go through their chain of command, but usually, like we said, in the civilian world, their chain of command is over them. So if it's the person who is over them, their sergeant, or their lieutenant, or whatever, is over them, and that's the one who is harassing them, then they can't go to them. Right? So now they have to either talk to someone over that person. But 9 times out of 10, that's what you call close. Because see, you have your stages and your sergeants and your lieutenants and your captains and all that. And you're all in the same boat branch. So all of them know each other. All of them hangs together. All of them because they got that rank. So it's hard for each one of them to pull stripes from the other one. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't want to see their homeboy or homegirl get messed up. Because in the military, you have a whole lot to lose, like your benefits, like your stripes, your titles, where you stationed at, where all this, and then if you're married or something, you got to go home and explain to them why this happened, because this is the military. Yeah. Why we moving? Why we this? Why we that? So it's hard. But in the military, they have a thing for hazing, because military, they do hazing, they'll do harassing, they'll do all of this. They have I wrote it down, because that right there I really don't know, but for those who are in the military, they have it's called USERRA, and it's in all caps. And it says they now have a standard for hostile environment claims based on military status. And so you should be able to go to this USERRA and report. Sometimes you can report anonymously, and it be somebody to guide you kind of through that. But they also they specialize in your Title VII Civil Rights Act of 1964. I know that. But the only thing that I could tell you about the military is it's been a lot of things happening in our military that it has a lot of harassment in it. It has a lot of, I've seen where some people are reporting harassment and they're coming up missing. and they're finding their remains in different areas. Now this is true, and it's not making it up. You know, I've seen this where those superiors, they will go as far as, you know, you can come up missing by telling them. You know, so it's an environment, and you know, they always say, oh, the military, they're a great place to be. Yeah, and we appreciate y'all. We appreciate everybody in the military that's giving their life and dedicating their life to serve and protect us. But we also have about 9 members of our family who used to be in the military, all retired out. My father, Jay's grandfather, was in the military and in Vietnam. So we know a lot of what we're talking about here. I do know a lot of what I'm talking about. It's a beautiful place, but it also could be a dangerous place. Okay? That's all I have to say about that. And what I want to tell you is, if you are in the military and you have, say you just re-enlisted and you got 4 years left, or you only have 2 years left, if this is so out of hand, the hostile environment, it shows that someone cannot control what's going on in your platoon, your station, or whatever. It shows that your superiors are not protecting you the way you should be protected. And if you have went to all these steps and you call that hotline, or you get in contact with what I just told you, who you're supposed to get in contact with, and if you still can't get anything from that, I will have to tell you, my father, he was very into this, and he was an activist, and he in the military. He had pictures where he's an activist. He was an activist in the military because this kind of thing went on. But what I can tell you is, if you cannot find any help, and before you let it stress you, before you let it get you too down, before you let it get to where you just want to give up on life, or before you let it get to, because let me tell you, military, just as the money you make in the military, you can make it out here in the civilian world as well. Okay? If it's to the point where it's endangering you and your health, your stress life, your family, and you just, it's on your mind every time you walk into that door or whatever, you need to let that enlistment run out. If you got 2 years left, 4 years left, you do the best of your ability, hang in there, but when that time is up, you need to come out, and you come out gracefully. Gracefully, with your head up and your chest out.
Because benefits and that money.
The benefits.
I think about it, they get
but
to
you know
and all
what?
that stuff.
It doesn't. Does that take your life though? Does that take your life?
Yeah, no. I mean, I was just.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't take your life. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't. You have some people that stick in there, just like what you just said. Yeah. And your grandfather was one of them. They'll stick in there, Frederick. My bad. Yeah. I'm so sorry. It wasn't my father. It was Frederick. That's my uncle. Will hang in there because of the benefits and the traveling and this. They will stick in there till you don't even realize how much it's affecting your brain of what you're going through. And then you become to have PTSD. Then you come out. And you come out and your mindset is not all together like it would have been if you would have came out when your mind was together. Because there are some people that stay in there just because of the benefits, of the pay, of the traveling and all that. And if they're going through things like this and they just continuously going through it and they trying to handle it, and then it's getting too much, but because they getting a good check or getting good benefits or whatever, they keep hanging in there, they're going to crack. Because that's what it does. Military is nothing to play with. I don't care what branch you in.
Yeah, no,
I don't care what branch you in. When you got stuff on your mind like this, and then you got to go out there in that field and do some combat, you jeopardizing yourself right there because you're not all together.
Yeah.
You got a lot on your mind.
I got two partners who left.
Right. So if I got a lot on, but I'm saying if I got a lot on my mind because I'm unhappy of where I'm at. And then I go out here in the field, you okay, ain't nothing going on with you. But you next to me, and I'm supposed to be the one to protect you. And you supposed to be the one to protect me. But because I got so much on my mind, ain't no telling what I might do, or I might be a second late on something. Done messed you up. It's best to come out of that. Because really, you're jeopardizing your fellow workers just as much as you're jeopardizing yourself. Because that's a dangerous job. You see what I'm saying? And so, what I'm saying is, once you go through all those chains of commands, and sometimes, and if you get retaliated against, they can't really do nothing because they're stuck in this contract. You know? But, when it comes up, and things are not getting no better, and you see it's jeopardizing your mental state. You know, you're not going to realize it's hitting your mental state sometimes until it's really too late. You know, once you know that, I'm unhappy, I've been unhappy for about 3 years, 2 years going into this spot, and you done went the right chain of commands, and nothing still is going right, and nobody is still addressing the matter and making the matter better for you, it's time to come out. It's time to come out. And let me tell you, everybody act like it ain't no benefits jobs out here. When you done been in the military, no.
I got one.
I'm just saying though. But when you've been in the military and you come out, they can get, it's programs out here that they put the military first before they hire us. Because of the job that they have done. They have served their country. You see what I'm saying? So, it's a lot of times a military person can go out and apply. It could be a job open and a military person apply for it. And bam, they'll get that call the next day.
True, but not if they've been honorably discharged, though.
No, that's if you say dishonorably. Yeah. If you honorably, you good.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I said.
AWOL.
But I said that's why I said in my that's what I said in my statement. Yeah. I said you do your term out. And you come out, what did I say? Gracefully. With respect and everything. Just say when they come to you, you want to re-enlist? Nah, I'm good. You know. And you come out and you take care of your family and you take care of yourself. And you get you a good job. You know. And it's so many jobs out here. Now it might be a job across another side of the state, another side of the country, or whatever, but it's still better than what you was going through. You know, so you done put some time in. Shoot, I know some people that just went in 4 years and they said exactly what we're talking about now. It was so hostile till they did their 4 years and then they come out. You know, but I can tell you right now, they're doing very good too. So, and they got benefits, and they retiring earlier than if you was in the military. It just all depends. So, I hope that kind of helped you out. I don't want to go into it that long. I hope that helped everyone out who probably are going through that, but go through your chain of commands. You can get all this stuff done, taken care of. You don't have to but always know, in any type of work environment in the United States, in the state, if you're working for the state, you're working for the federal government or wherever, you just in any type of job field, you do not have to put up with working in a hostile environment. And that question was kind of, it sat in my mind for a minute because I want you to listen to this. can you please talk about how to work in a hostile environment? It's no such thing. It's learning how to work in a hostile environment. You are never supposed to learn how to work in a hostile environment. You're never supposed to learn that. Okay? Never. That's just, you know what I'm saying? That is, you never. And that's where you know that you have a lot of people out here across this United States and across this world. They feel like, and I had employees that felt that way, that they had to learn how to adjust to a hostile environment. No, you don't never learn how to adjust to that. You fix that. You never adjust to nothing like that. Ain't no such thing. That's not even in anybody's vocabulary. If you look that up, how to work in a hostile environment, or how can I cope in a sexual harassment thing, you don't cope with sexual harassment. You don't cope with hostile environment. That's something that you do not get accustomed to. Don't get used to it. It's a no-no.
Yeah, unless you especially if you got your freedom now. If you locked up in prison or in jail, yeah, you assed out.
Oh yeah, you done.
You ain't got no choice but to learn how to survive in a hostile environment.
Right. Now you
better
right.
keep your damn head on a swivel.
Yeah.
You get shanked up that night or
Yeah,
something.
you right. That's the only place that you have to adjust, and you show right. That's the only place you should have to worry about having to adjust to a hostile environment. Other than that, in the work field, workplace, no, chop it, cut it.
Right.
Okay? Don't ever get yourself, people out there, our viewers, anybody, do not ever get accustomed, and don't ever adjust yourself to working in any type of hostile environment or any type of sexual harassment environment. That's a no-no. So that's all I got to say about that.
I told y'all she had the universal thing on. I told y'all Oprah Winfrey, y'all.
Yeah.
And she got all the answers,
but anyway,
all the keys.
Yeah, y'all know.
I ain't know nothing about
that
no
was a very
1962.
good topic. Thank you, Helena Hackworth, because it was so many people that really had been asking about that.
Yeah.
And so when I saw hers, that's when I said it's time, and she wanted to shout out. So thank you so much. Take care. Take care of the family. Tell the family we said hello, and that's all we got to say. You got anything else you need to say?
No, hell no.
Gain knowledge to prevent blockage, and we all know what that means. The more you know, and hey, that's what I'm trying to tell you right now. The more you know, the harder it is for anybody to block you from your success. So just like you know everything that it took you to get that job, y'all tune in to the inventory video too, and y'all won't even have to worry about going through all this. Y'all can jump ship when you get ready to jump ship. See y'all later.
I'm trying to tell you.
Y'all take it easy. See y'all next week.
So I'm going to use that too. These corporations going to be messed up. I'm walking that thing like Johnny Bravo.